Yo, whoa, what's going on to the hustlers out there? Welcome back. This is a milestone episode. It's the fifth episode, from the ground up, 0 to 5. We got here quick. Y'all already know how it go down. Hey, if you sleep, you beat. I'm T Will. Week 9 was crazy. We had some crazy games, blowouts, comebacks, some heartbreakers, some injuries that we didn't want to see that flipped some leagues upside down. Today we got a packed show. We got the top performers recap, the injury recap. We even got the waiver wire scoop for you, risk it or bench it, under the shell lock pick of the week, and the hustlers energy lock of the week. So make sure y'all follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hustle Sports Network, and on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, at the Hustle Sports Net. And FantasyRayRay, tell everybody where they can catch the podcast at.
Before I do that, how you doing, T? You good?
What was going on, my brother?
Nothing much, nothing much. It's good to see you. Good to see
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.
So like T Will said, make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Follow it, Hustle Sports Fantasy Podcast, and don't forget to drop your start sit questions in the comments. I try to answer everybody and get to you quick as possible.
Hey, y'all heard it here. FantasyRayRay try to get y'all them start sit decisions to help y'all win y'all matchup. So we about to get into it. We're gonna jump into it. The top performers of the week, week 9, the recap. Excuse me, Christian McCaffrey, 34 fantasy points, 34.3 to be exact, 28 carries, 106 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 catches, 67 yards. Had another receiving touchdown. Drake London from the Falcons, 38.8, 9 catches, 118 yards, three tutties.
Great.
Yeah, I know that's your boy. You got him on the lineup, so you loving that. I was a beneficiary of Caleb Williams this weekend. He was the top
Crazy
quarterback
week.
coming into Monday. I know, right? 280 passing yards, 3 touchdowns passing, had a receiving touchdown, had one receiving touchdown, like I say, 53 reception yards. So altogether, he had about what sound like about 353, or I'm sorry, 333. You know what I'm saying? But Caleb Williams, they
43
use him a
fantasy
lot.
points.
43. So yeah, crazy. Brock Bowers, 43 fantasy points, 12 catches, 127 yards, 3 tutties. And then Tennessee defense, what a surprising, very shocking. They locked up, and it's crazy. Justin Herbert was my start for last week because he was playing Tennessee, and then they ended up being the top scoring defense. They had a pick, 2 tutties, 6 sacks on Justin Herbert and the Chargers. That's
Couldn't
crazy.
even imagined it. Couldn't have imagined it.
Oh, nobody would have guessed that. That's why it's crazy. That's why it's surprising. Nobody would have guessed that. Real quick, while we on here, it's Monday night. Dallas Cowboys and Arizona playing right now. It's about 2:14 left in the second. Arizona up on Dallas 10-7. That's in Dallas. We're going to keep y'all updated on that game as much as we possibly can. So before we keep it moving, before we go into the injuries and the surprise usage spike, what's a top performer that stood out to you, Ray Ray, that we ain't got listed here?
So I've been talking about him for a few weeks now. The oldest guy in the league, Joe Flacco, baby.
Joe Flacco.
Flacco just, I keep throwing it out there. If you need a quarterback, go get Joe. Go get Joe. I know he old. I know he can't run, so he's not the sexy pick. But Joe Flacco, 470 yards, 4 touchdowns, 30 fantasy points. He averaging 25 fantasy points per game since he's been the starter for the Bengals. So Joe Flacco is definitely somebody that needs to be talked about more. And then T. Higgins, same offense, 7 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns, 33 fantasy points. T. Higgins a top 10 wide receiver and a wide receiver one on 20 other teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
So just the Bengals offense, if you can get a piece, get a piece. Excuse me, the last piece you probably can get is Joe Flacco. And if you out here starting people like Kyler Murray, or Bo Nix or CJ Stroud, and you ride them roller coasters, go get Joe.
Go get Joe. I'm gonna have to take your advice on that. I just lost Jay Dams. I don't tell how long he out for, so I'm gonna have to look at Joe for sure.
Yeah, Joe will be a great streamer.
Hey, I like that. Joe T. Higgins. There was some surprise. There was some studs from this week 9 for FantasyRayRay. Now we're gonna jump into this surprise usage spike for week 9. Who surprised you in week 9 that got some usage spike that you didn't see coming?
So all week, fantasy managers like myself struggled. We agonized over who was going to get the work in the Panthers' backfield.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they were going to lean on they were going to give more work to Rico Dowdle, and boy, they told the truth. I love some Dave Canales, because Dave Canales going to keep it real. So, man, Rico 73% of the snaps, 25 carries, 130 yards, and 2 tutties on that defense. Man, Rico the real deal. I got some more on Rico later, but Rico was my guy for surprise usage spike. People thought it might be a 60-40, 50-50. Nah, Rico the man.
Yeah, as he should be. We saw him go crazy. He been going crazy. If he get 20 touches or he the starter, he the guy, and they let us know he featured, we see what he can do. I get it. You know what I'm saying? The politics is we paid Chuba, so we don't want to lose. You don't want Chuba to lose a job just from injury, and I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But Rico the guy. Rico the guy. Parsons didn't even get a sack against Carolina. So I just feel
that rock.
That run game neutralized the defense of Green Bay, and Rico's the guy. Stop playing with it.
So I do have one more guy.
All right, go ahead. What's up?
I slid another one in there. My bad, T. I slid another one in there.
Do your thing.
Parker Washington.
Okay.
Parker Washington, 87% of the snaps, 8 receptions for 90 yards. And we've been hearing Parker Washington's name for a while now. And it seemed like that's starting to be Trevor Lawrence's guy. Yeah. So Parker Washington, that usage is like, man, is he the number one or is BTJ the number one? Because they like Parker Washington a lot.
So to add to your point about Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown left the game against the Raiders with a concussion. BTJ left that game with an ankle injury. We're going to bring them up in the injury recap. But yeah, so Parker Washington for y'all boys out there who looking for a streamer, maybe even a stash play. You know what I'm saying? You need some receiver help at this point in the season. Parker Washington been steady, and he's been steady for 2 years now. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing him for about 2 years now. I don't know if he was playable last year, but yeah, he definitely been steady for a little minute now. So I like that play. That's real deep. Real deep. So if y'all need help on the receiver, so if y'all need help on the receiving end, Parker Washington. So me, I went Carson Loveland. I had to double down on my boy. He was my start from last week. Finished the game with 6 catches, 118 yards, 2 tutties. Had the game winning tutty too. You know what I'm saying? Against that banged up Bengals defense. Did his thing. And then he got some of that usage spike because Komet got hurt with a concussion. He left yesterday's game. So Colston Loveland was able to get some uptick. That was a surprise spike. Now, I picked him to have a good game, but I'm glad to see that worked out. But my other guy is Chris Rodriguez. You know, I know me and you talked about him offline a couple times. Mm-hmm. He seemed like he could be decent at least. Had 12 rushes, 65 yards in the tutty. Now, I know that game was over pretty quick. He only had 34% of the snaps, so his usage wasn't crazy. But he got the 12 rushes with 65 yards in the tutty. That game was ugly, but he definitely got his work in. He had a good day. He probably was on the waiver for most people, but he had a good day yesterday. So that was my 2 guys for the usage spike that surprised me going into yesterday.
So thoughts on both of those players.
Okay.
Colston Loveland. Is it over for Cole Komet?
I think so.
His
I think
job
so.
gone.
Yeah,
It's tight.
yeah,
It's tight end the ultimate X factor.
I think so. I think
They
so.
putting up numbers better than wide receivers.
And even on that game winner, he broke 2 tackles
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
finished it off with like 50 yards. Like these tight ends ain't tight ends of yesteryear.
He's
It's
different.
safe.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
wide
saw what
receiver
Bowers
speed.
did. We saw what Bowers did. Loveland, Kincaid had a crazy day yesterday.
Yeah,
With Aronde Gaston. I mean, these guys are just going crazy
yeah,
with some of these games, hitting 100 yards, getting in the end zone. And Chris Rodriguez, kind of some garbage time work, but every time he get an opportunity, he looked good.
mm-hmm.
And it seemed like they're reluctant to fully give him a real look. Like 20 carries or so. But every time he play, I'm like, and he good. So definitely, I picked them up at one point when they got rid of B Rob and they didn't really go to him like I thought they might. But every time he's given an opportunity, he play well.
Play well. Yeah, definitely. So I agree with that. I think he definitely played well in the limited opportunities that he get. So we're gonna keep it moving. Unfortunately, y'all know injury is part of the game. So we gotta touch on these players before we get started. Y'all already know prayers up to these players, speedy recovery. We always want safety for everybody, but injuries are a part of football, and we just got to discuss it. So Tucker Kraft torn ACL, he out for the year. That's devastating.
That hurt.
He was having a crazy year, right? BTJ, as I said earlier, he had an ankle injury. CJ Stroud had a nasty concussion. That was nasty.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones had a shoulder sprain. Did see something today about he should be good to play this upcoming weekend in week 10. So he may be okay. He should be okay. Kayshawn Booty had a hamstring injury. Puka, my guy, had a chest injury.
Yeah.
I did see what Sean McVay said that Puka could have came back in the game, but because they was up so big on my Saints, they didn't bring him back. Cole Kmet, as we said earlier about Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet had a concussion. He left the game yesterday. So, and then Matthew Golden, De'Ami Brown, another one from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had a concussion. Golden had a shoulder injury. Samaj P. Ryan had an ankle injury. Joe Alt, the lineman for the Chargers, he had an ankle injury. I saw today that he's out for the year. So that may affect some of them Charger receivers, maybe even Justin Herbert's game. So make sure y'all on the lookout for that. Jaden Daniels, I haven't heard any updates. I did see where the X-ray was negative. He will get an MRI, but it's been announced that he had an elbow dislocation. Luke McCaffrey, broken collarbone. He may or may not be out on the year for the year. I haven't heard anything. And then Marshawn Lattimore for the defensive side of the ball, he suffered a torn ACL. So prayers up to all those players for speedy recoveries.
Absolutely.
Make sure they're safe. But yeah, so that's unfortunate, but it's part of the game. So with that being said, we're about to jump into this waiver scoop. Before we get into the waiver scoop, we got 4 teams on bye this week. We got Cincinnati Bengals on bye. We saw they lost the heartbreaker to Chicago. We got Dallas Cowboys. They in the middle of a knockout game with Arizona right now on Monday night. Tennessee Titans, they probably need the bye to get some things in order. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they just lost the heartbreaker to Buffalo. So they on a bye. So those 4 teams, Cincinnati, Dallas, Tennessee, and Kansas City on a bye. So week 9 gave us some emerging names. But as y'all know, it's time to cut bait. We trying to find some stash plays, some nice plays to help us win the matchups for week 10. So FantasyRayRay, who you got for a top waiver ad, for your waiver wire scoop?
So I got 2 players, and one of them we
Okay.
touched on, Parker Washington,
Okay.
5% roster in ESPN leagues, averaging 9.5 targets over the last 2 weeks. We kind of talked about the opportunity with the injuries, the chemistry him and Trevor Lawrence have. So definitely like him as a potential add right now. And then almost, how do you say this? Olamide Zacchaeus.
Okay, from Chicago.
Yep. He's
Okay.
1.2% rostered in ESPN leagues. He's been getting 7.5 targets over the last 2 weeks. Um, just had a pretty good week. Seems to be having a steady uptick in his targets and his route participation with Caleb Williams. And there was some talk coming into the season that he was the slot guy and he could have an Amon Ra type of role, and we didn't really see that. We heard a lot of Luther Burden early on. What would they do with DJ Moore? But Zacchaeus was the guy that had a good game yesterday, while Roma Dunze had nothing. So, and keep an eye on Zacchaeus. He seems to be, as Caleb struggles, he seems to be looking for the safety valves, the slot
Hmm.
guy, the tight end, the backs. So I like Zacchaeus.
I like that though, because every time I see a Bears game, he always in the mix, whether he got a big catch or he scored a TD that you didn't think was coming. Sakia's always in the mix. So I like that. That's a deep play right there. So I'm gonna stay on wide receivers. My guy is Torrey Horton. He caught 2 touchdowns
Big
last
game.
night against Washington. Yeah. He only caught 4 passes last night. So his targets, his volume ain't crazy. I think he a better streamer option if you need some help this late in the season. But he is playing set. He's averaging 73% of the snaps while Cooper Kupp is out. As we know, Kupp missed last night. So he only got 2 games. Even when Kupp playing, he only got 2 games with less than 3% target. 3 targets, excuse me. And he's only 7% rostered in ESPN leagues. So Torrey Horton was my guy for waiver ad going into week 10. I think he can help somebody win a week. So with that being said, who's your deep stash?
My deep stash is Luke Musgrave, rostered in 0.2% of league. So pretty much nobody is rostering Luke Musgrave. But with Tucker Craft being out for the season, I think he's a priority ad. He's a deep stash because of the roster percentage, but I'm looking to go get Luke Musgrave. We see Jordan Love like to throw to the tight end. And people forget Luke Musgrave was a second round pick in 2023. So a second round pick at the tight end position, you gotta think they pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Musgrave pick up a lot of that work that Tucker Craft was getting and look good while doing it.
I like that. Luke Musgrave, he was good before Tucker Craft got there. Tucker Craft was just better. But with the
Hmm.
injury to Tucker Craft, Luke Musgrave is going to be definitely a thing in their offense going forward. I like that. So my deep stash, Andre Yoshevis from Cincinnati Bengals. This crazy to me. When I'm looking this guy up, this guy he plays his games got better as the year went on. I think part of that is Flacco, right? 84
Absolutely.
percent of the snaps, yeah, 84% of the snaps yesterday. 5 catches, 66 yards, and a TD in week 9 yesterday. 4 of his last 5 weeks, he received 4 more targets. Now they on a bye this week for week 10, so he may be a stash guy, may be easy to add him while he don't play. Only rostered in 0.5% of the league, so he was my deep stash candidate. I'm looking at his numbers over the course of the year, and he plays a lot. He gets involved, even with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase there. He's very involved, so that's my deep stash candidate. Now, with that being said, Ray, who's your drop candidate? Now we late in the season. You probably got to drop a guy that you spent some extensive draft capital on. Who your drop candidate?
I'm gonna stay in Green Bay and say it's Matthew Golden.
Okay.
Matthew Golden is ranked the 66 wide receiver in fantasy. He hasn't had a 100-yard game this season, and he hasn't scored a touchdown this season. Now we see Christian Watson back. Clearly, Christian Watson looks good. He looks like the second round pick that he was. Fast, athletic, back to getting a bunch of snaps. And we've seen other players get involved, whether it's Wicks or Dobbs, or they just got a million receivers, and it just seemed like Matthew Golden, for all the hype that we heard, they're not really looking to get him the ball. So I think at
Yeah.
this point, we're about to go into week 10. I think it's safe to drop Matthew Golden.
I ain't gonna lie. I wanted Golden too. When I was seeing the clips pop up during the draft, when we was getting ready to draft, and I was looking at it, I was like, man, this dude's like cold. But one thing for sure, Green Bay drafts the same kind of receiver over and over and over. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Right now, the only Golden I care to be a part of is K-pop Demon Hunter. If we looking at Matthew Golden, I'll pass on that.
Oh yeah, that's a guy with young kids right there with the K-pop Demon Hunter. Yeah, but I ain't mad at it though. K-pop Demon Hunter got some hits though. I can't even front that. Yeah. My drop candidate though is Chuba Hubbard. I know he just got the contract last year. He only played 22% of the snaps in a knockdown game like that. They just played the Packers. No, it wasn't a lot of scoring. It was ugly. The defense was really had its thumbprint on that game, and Chuba only played 22% of the snaps. Now, that leans to we was talking about Rico's the guy. Stop playing. Rico's the guy. But yeah, Chuba only played 22% of snaps in a close game. Only had 5 carries for 17 yards. There was no interest on Dave Canales' part to try to get Chuba involved, and rightfully so. Rico, the guy, he doing his thing. He just like that. So, but yeah. With that being said, go ahead.
I will say this: there is a chance Chuba gets traded tomorrow. I saw a report that said the Panthers may be open to moving Chuba, which is understandable, right? If you're gonna play less than 30% of the snaps, you just got paid, you believe you can play, and just the last 2 weeks, you saw Carolina try to give Chuba a chance to keep the job. So they seem to want to do right by Chuba. So if he make it past the trade deadline, then I think you're 100% right. You got to drop him. There's probably some other handcuff type backs or something like that you'd rather have. But if he get traded, hey, you might be a happy fantasy manager.
Now, with that being said, did you see what teams was looking to trade for Chuba, or it was just more the Panthers would be willing to come off of Chuba?
It was more the Panthers would be willing to come off. I mean, we look around the league, it ain't a lot of teams that's looking for a true lead back. Anywhere he goes at this point, I mean, even if you go to Kansas City, which everybody want to put every back in Kansas City, do you see Kareem Hunt going away?
No, but I do think that'll be a good spot for Chuba, though.
Oh yep. Anywhere he go where he can get 50% or more of the snaps would be a good situation for him. I actually like New England for him. Even though, we see the flashes with Travion, or like the fantasy community like to say, the juice that we see with Travion. I think Chuba the kind of back that really want that grinder, tough back that can fight for the extra yards, that can catch out of the backfield. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get moved. But yeah, if he don't get moved, I think you hit the nail on the head. You got to drop him.
All right, so y'all heard it here. FantasyRayRay drop candidate was Matthew Golden. Mine was Chuba Hubbard. Excuse me. So with that being said, we finna keep it moving into this decision time. Your start sits, the ones that's gonna help you win that matchup. You risk it or bench it. It's our segment. This is what we we rapid fire. We going real quick. Risk it or bench it. Daniel Jones versus Atlanta. Talk to me.
I'm risking it. I'm
You
risking it.
risking it.
I'm risking it. Yeah, I risk
What?
it for the biscuit.
That sounds
Uh,
insane.
what you gotta think? Danny Dimes, he coming off an awful week,
Yeah.
but he's 7-2, and he's still quarterback 5. So 1 week ain't gonna scare me off
Yeah.
Danny Dimes. He's still a
Nah, I
top
feel it.
quarterback. The offense still elite. And anytime a quarterback is in the top five,
Yeah.
I think you gotta play him. Who you gonna set him
Yeah.
down for at that point? You know. So I think Danny Dimes, he go back, he relax. This is a wake up call. Like, hey, I can't get comfortable. I can't go back to Danny Dimes. I got to be Indiana Jones or Daniel Diamonds or whatever they want to call him. But he can't go back to Danny Dimes. So I think he get right this week.
Hey, you a better man than me because Pittsburgh defense was looking mid as they coming. I think I said it on the last episode. I felt like they looked like mesh, and then they got 5 turnovers from Danny Dimes this past weekend. So,
Mhm.
with that being said, I'm a bench it. The Falcons got the
Let's
first
see
ranked
it.
pass defense still, even though New England did their thing on them Sunday. They still got the first pass ranked defense. They give up the least amount of yards to the passing offense. They coming off a 6-sack game too. Now I know Indianapolis, they team is legit. And I believe they
Yeah,
line is solid enough to protect Daniel Jones. To where as long as he don't hold the ball, they shouldn't have 6 sacks. But because it's Danny Dimes, I do believe he good, but I gotta go, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go bench it on that one against the Falcons. So
that's fine.
yeah. So yeah, we disagree on that one. Ray Ray got risk it, I got bench it. So the next one, Jalen Warren versus the Chargers. Who you got?
Gotta risk it. Gotta risk it. He a clear RB1. Steelers coming off a great week. He had a good game, and he active in the passing game.
Yeah,
So I think really in fantasy, you can't afford to bench any clear RB1. If
yeah,
they getting the bulk of the work, you almost gotta play them. And
yeah,
then if they getting passing work, even better. So
yeah,
even if the game script, if they getting blew out, it's good for Jalen Warren. If they winning by a lot, it's good for Jalen Warren. So I think,
yeah.
as good as the Chargers defense can be at times, I gotta risk it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Everything you said, that lead me doing the same direction. I feel that same way. Jalen Warren good in the passing game or the rushing game. The Chargers coming off a bad performance against the Titans. Now I know they was able to walk away with the win. You know what I'm saying? They was able to still come away and be out straight. But they didn't look particularly good against the Titans. Now I know they dealt with the injury to Joe Alt, like I said. But with that being said, yeah, I agree. Jalen Warren versus the Chargers, I'm risking that as well. So I'm gonna keep it pushing. Travis Etienne versus the Texans. For me, I'm gonna jump in there. Hey, I'm gonna bench this. Houston got the 5th-ranked rushing defense. Travis Etienne flopped. He had like 5 runs from the one against the Raiders yesterday. Didn't score none of them. He got stuffed all 5 times. The Raiders defense is mid as they come. So for me, I'm benching that one. I ain't feeling that against Houston. I think Houston defense stout. So yeah, I'm benching that. So with that being said, what you doing? You risking it or you benching?
We disagree again. I'm
Oh,
risking
we
it.
disagree. You risking that?
I'm risking that.
What?
And part of the reason Houston do have a stout defense, no doubt about it. But Travis Etienne is coming off 27 touches,
Yeah,
115 yards, and once again, he's a clear RB1.
yeah.
Any running back that's gonna get 27 touches is a must start. I gotta do it. It's just too much work. It's too much volume.
Hey,
You
you know
pray for
what?
that kind of volume.
I hope it's some casinos where you live at though, because you sound like you're a gambler, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
Travis Etienne.
if I'm gonna get 27 tries, I take my chance.
Nah, I like that. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. 27 tries to get a good game. I ain't mad at that. So yeah, I said I'm gonna bench it on Travis Etienne versus the Texans. FantasyRayRay say he gonna risk it. I ain't mad at it. I ain't feeling it either though. But with that being said, I'm gonna come to you on this one. Roma Dunze versus the Giants. What you doing? You risking it or you benching?
Man, can I glue him to the bench?
Oh,
That's how bad I want. That's how
you
bad I
love
want to
that.
bench this.
You
Yeah,
love the
yeah,
benching
yeah.
like
Ain't he can't sniff my lineup right now.
that.
Uh, yeah, he can't, man. In 3 of the last 4 weeks, he has failed to crack 6 fantasy points. And he coming off a 0 fantasy point game when Caleb Williams just went crazy. The offense scored 40 points and he had 0 fantasy points. The only position he can play for me is ass back. Get your ass back on the bench. I can't put him in. Nah, so
Yeah,
I'm benching it.
benching it. Hey,
Hmm.
well, we disagree again. So I'm gonna risk it. The Giants got the 24th pass rank, the 24th ranked pass defense. Uh, I don't trust Caleb all the way, but I do think when you have a good game, when you got the Bengals, you get your confidence up. You know, a slump buster. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Caleb, I think with all the trick plays they ran yesterday, that proved that I think Ben Johnson see what the fans see when it comes to Caleb. But with that being said, he still had the 280, still had 3 tutties, no turnovers. That's a game that I think you could build off of. So with that being said, I don't think Rome Odunze go with 0 again. 2 straight weeks with 0 would be insane. He only had 3 targets too against Cincinnati, which is also crazy given how bad their defense is. But I
Sound like
definitely
you
don't see
agree
him
with me.
going. It sounds like that, but I
Go
think it's a
go put it
risk.
in reverse, Terry.
Nah. That's a risk and I'm willing to take. Roma Dunze versus a bad defense. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's gonna go 2 straight weeks with 0. So that's a risk that I'm willing to take. So here go the next one. This because I think I know what you're gonna say. Oh, you know what? I don't know. Mason Taylor versus your Brownies.
So I
Versus your
like Mason
Brownies.
Taylor. We talked about the tight ends going crazy, but it ain't happening against the dog pound.
Okay.
Just no way. The fifth
Yeah.
ranked pass defense. We don't know who gonna play quarterback for the Jets. Justin, if it's Justin Fields or Tyrod, they can be running for their life. Miles Garrett
Yeah.
coming out with a vengeance all game. The secondary been lights out as long as they don't live on the field. And I don't
Yeah.
see the Jets scoring a ton of points. That's gonna really, put the game out of hand. So I think this is gonna be a super, super low game. We might see scores like 3-7. So um,
Punt fest.
yeah, it might be a punt fest. Yeah, so I don't see Mason Taylor having a good game. Garrett Wilson supposed to be back. I just think it's gonna be an ugly game.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you for a lot of the same reasons. 5th ranked pass defense. I don't trust Fields all the way either. If he start, I don't trust. I think he got the intangibles, but I don't trust if he gonna get Mason Taylor involved, especially with Garrett Wilson coming back. I don't trust that. So yeah,
And
I go ahead.
this might be a game where we see more defensive touchdowns than offensive touchdowns.
That'll be insane. That'll be insane. I ain't trusting the Jets D, but I also don't believe Dylan Gabriel good enough to get points like that on the Jets
We
D.
we got the same arm strength,
Hey,
me and
listen,
Dylan.
you might need to go out there wherever they was at Beaver Creek, go and get you a trial going.
I can't do no worse. We about the same height,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
same
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. You might need to hit Stefanski up, see get that trial going. Yeah, let's get we see if we can get that in the works. Shout out to Andrew Bear. See if we get that in the works.
Oh
so
man.
so we both agreed on Mason Taylor versus the Browns
Mhm.
that we're gonna bench that. I definitely agree with that. A strong agreement on that part. So we got a question from the mailbox. Somebody asked, should I start BTJ versus Houston? Marvin Harrison versus Arizona in week 10, and why?
So can I say neither? Is that an option? Is that an option I can pick?
Yo,
Now I don't like either, but I'm definitely not going BTJ against Houston. Um, Houston defense is too good. Um, I think Marv has had more
uh,
consistent play.
I flopped you on that matchup. I said Marvin versus Arizona. Arizona playing Seattle in week 10, so that's my bad. So Marvin Harrison versus Seattle, not Arizona. He can't play them himself. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I ain't catch that.
yeah.
I mean, it don't matter. After Marvin Harrison playing against himself can have a better game than BTJ gonna have against Stingley. So there's just no way. I mean, BTJ. So my biggest reason for this is consistent play. So Marvin Harrison, outside of the first couple of weeks, he's been pretty consistent. They offense don't always, tailor it to get him the ball, but he's been pretty solid. BTJ
Yeah,
is just playing bad. He's getting
yeah.
hurt. He's dropping passes. He's just not playing good at all. So there's just no way with any confidence I can start BTJ.
And with that recent ankle injury with BTJ, that definitely scared me as well.
Yeah, yeah. Right now he too good to drop. But he also, I mean, if you play him, you playing him in the flex and you're nervous.
You're nervous. Yeah. No, I feel that. So Marvin Harrison versus Seattle in week 10 is FantasyRayRay's pick. I'm gonna agree with that. I'm gonna double down on that. I ain't feeling BTJ right now. He just got a new ankle injury. Even if he healthy against Houston, I got Houston in my fantasy league, so I definitely can't pick against them. Or I can, but I won't pick against them. I say it like that. Uh, so with that being said, we're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna make it to this under the shell pick. Uh, this segment is about some players that you ain't talking about, but maybe you should be. So you know what I'm saying. You got that hustle spirit. We gonna get down on some of these under the shell picks. So, Fantasy Ray Ray, what's up? Talk to me. Who your under the shell pick for week 10?
Under the shell pick for week 10. We're going to go back to Indianapolis. Well, I'm a proud Michael Pittman manager. I got to go with Alec Pierce. 91% of the snaps. He's the clear deep ball threat, the person that they look to throw everything deep to. He's had double digit targets in 2 out of the last 3 weeks, hitting 10 and 13 targets. He just went for 13 targets, 6 receptions for 115 yards. They love him. They love him. They want him out there all the time. So while Michael Pittman and Warren still are the main guys, that from a production standpoint, Alec Pierce living on the field. And I think anytime you got that kind of playing time, that kind of snap percentage, those kind of targets, you got to look at that guy.
Yeah, I agree with that. Real quick before I dive more into that, Jacoby Brissett just hit Trey McBride for a TD. Arizona go up on Dallas 23-7. See, this is what Dallas do though. Oh, bye is over.
I'm waving bye bye to Kyler Murray. It was fun
Oh,
while it lasted.
that's over with. Yeah, that's over
That's
with.
over with. Yeah, Jacoby
Yeah,
just looked great in that
yeah.
offense. Um, what's their coach name?
Jonathan Gannon.
Jonathan Gannon. The biggest talk with Gannon was, even Marvin Harrison Sr. was talking about what kind of offense are they running.
Yeah.
And I think people had questions about Gannon's offense under Kyler Murray. And I think we've seen week after week after week, Jacoby makes that offense look good. He
Yeah.
running it the way Gannon wanted ran. And if they keep Jacoby in there, man, Gannon might actually keep his job. So I just don't see how you have it look the way you want it to look, and then you go back to looking like, what are y'all doing? So yeah, I
Yeah,
think it might be it for Kyler.
you can't go back to Kyler. They got 24 points with like
Mm.
8 minutes left in the third. You know what I mean? They
Woo.
could very well hang up 40. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah, you talking about I can't think of the last time Kyler Murray put up 40 when he started.
Yeah. What you started Bam Knight today, didn't you?
I did. I
How's he
did.
doing?
I don't know, and I'm not gonna check until we're done.
So hustlers, this is how your host, T Will, this is how he
Yeah.
approaches this fantasy week.
Hey, I pray, I set, and I forget. It's out of my hands now.
Well, you
It's
did
out of my
start.
hands.
You started Zonovan Night, so you wouldn't sleep, and I don't think you're gonna be beat.
I was down 5.8 coming into tonight. So all I needed was 6 from
Oh,
Bam.
Bam gonna get that. Bam gonna get that.
He had like a 20-yard run that actually set up this pass that Brissett had to McBride. He actually looked like he having a decent night. I just like checking why we here. You know what I'm saying? I say,
You want me to tell you?
it
I tell you.
sound your tone sound pleasant. Your tone sound pleasant. I'm just not
So,
sure
so,
if I
so, so
want.
I give you the scores,
All right.
and I hate to do this to our league mate, but T Will in our league has 144.4 against Coke Labs, who has 143.4. So
Hey,
literally 1 point
let's
difference.
go.
And Coke
Let's
Lab
go.
Bandits falls to oh, what is he? He falls to let me get it. I want to get this right. Coke Lab is gonna fall to 0-9
Let's
in
go.
our any given Sunday league.
Yo,
Heartbreaking loss again this
I
week for Coke
I
Labs.
don't think you realize how bad I need. I lost 3 in a row. I started out 4-1, and I was 4-4 today.
I need
So
you, big dog. I
I
need about
need you. I need
50.
about 50. Yeah, that was me coming into this weekend. I needed it, dog.
Eat
Needed it.
it out.
Hey, all praises to the Most High God, son. Cause
Hey,
hey,
you say it all the time. You need these wins.
the ugly wins are the wins that you need. It's easy,
Yeah.
obviously, the blowout wins easy to get. You love them because you can go on about your day and rest knowing you got the dub. But these ugly
And,
wins, that's what gets you there.
and shout out to you. You know, I want the hustlers to hear this. If you tuned into this, at T Will stream this week because of injuries and buys. He started Kareem Hunt, Zonovan Knight, and Theo Johnson. And he getting a dub. And he gets it.
That's
So if that ain't managing, I don't
hey,
know what is.
that sound terrible, son. Theo,
Hey, but
Bam, hey, he got the dub. Hey,
and it got the dub. And it
hey,
got
you
the
know what?
dub.
But you've been saying grab Kareem for a few weeks, and I was being hard headed for the first couple weeks, and then I got him, and then it worked out. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, it's a team effort. I can't take all the credit. Yeah, I hit the button, but it was some info. Hey, I listened to the info just like y'all could. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's an ugly dub. I'm thankful to get it though, because it was a
Oh yeah, because
3.
somebody gonna lose the Coke labs more than likely.
Hey, listen
And
and tell it, and it couldn't be me. You can't be the first guy.
yeah, and the lose when you score 143, that hurt.
It's a great week. That's a great
That
week.
hurt. Yeah.
That's a dub any other week.
Yeah. And I know he was watching this praying. Yeah, even though the season lost, he praying that he get this dub. So to lose
Yeah,
by one,
yeah,
yeah, it just ain't your year.
yeah. Hey, and it be like that. We've all had them. I know I had one where it
Yeah.
just wasn't my year. So we got off topic, but to
Mm-hmm.
bring it back to the under the shell, uh, remind me again. My fault. My fault. Who was your under the shell guy?
Alec Pierce.
Alec
Alec
Pierce. Okay.
Pierce.
All right. So I'm gonna stay with the Colts. I got Josh Downs. Now, he playing just under 70% of the snaps. He's the third wide receiver. Let's not get that twisted. Michael Pittman is the one. He playing a little bit less snaps than Pierce, but him and Pierce are the 1 and the 2 based on snap percentage. Josh Downs playing just under 70% of snaps, but he hasn't had less than 3 targets in any game that he's played this year. And that's with Danny Dimes, that's with Jonathan Taylor, that's with Tyler Warren, that's with him being the third receiver in snaps played. He hadn't had less than 3 targets in any game he played this year. Sunday against Pittsburgh, he had 6 catches, 57 yards, and 1 tutty. It's a great day. What's that? That's 17.7.
Mm-hmm.
That can win you a matchup. So that's my under the shell pick for week 10.
You
You
said
know,
17?
where he had 6 catches, 57 yards. That's 11.7, and then the tutty is 6. So
Oh, yep. Yep,
17.7.
you're right.
So yeah, hustlers. Josh Downs, my pick. We clearly like that Colts offense. FantasyRayRay had Alec Pierce as his under the shell pick. So we're gonna bring that energy. This is where we stand on business. Or as my boy Ray Ray say, standing on business.
Yeah, we're standing on business.
Yeah. So with that being said, who's your hustler's energy lock pick of the week?
So I mentioned him at the beginning of the pod. My favorite fantasy player this year, probably my favorite waiver wire ad ever in the history of me playing fantasy. Rico Dottle. Rico
Rico
Dottle
Dowdle.
leads the NFC in rushing, and he only got 3 starts this season. He the clear lead back, and they going to New Orleans, who has the 20th ranked run defense after scoring 28 fantasy points on the third ranked run defense in Green Bay. Rico might have 200 yards again.
Yeah.
Um, there's just no end in sight to stopping Rico. He doing it every time you give him 20 carries, it's a monster day. And I sure ain't setting him down for New Orleans. So um, yeah, Rico is my energy lock pick of the week. And we're standing on business.
Standing on business. It's crazy. I got my guy work at Middle James Brewery. So if you ever in Charlotte, definitely shout them out. Go get them a holler. They got some great wings. But my guy Darren, he a Panthers fan. We was just talking. Got to get Chuba out of there. Rico,
Mm-hmm.
Rico's the guy. Stop playing. You want to win? Put Rico in. Or like I saw on the Panthers Twitter page today, we got 5 on it.
We got 5 on it. I love that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got 5 on it.
we got
Yeah.
5 on it. We got 5 on it. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great lock pick of the week. I think he's gonna chop them up. That's a good one. So with that being said, my lock pick, my hustler's energy lock pick of the week. I'm standing on business with my guy JSN. Nah, this might be a layup,
But it is what it
but
is. That's
but
your
he
lock of the
but
week.
he near and dear to my heart because he on the squad. He had his worst game of the year actually came against Arizona. He had 4 catches for 79 yards. I think he had a rush for like 11 yards in that game, which brought him to like 13. That's been his worst fantasy game all year. Against Arizona on Thursday night. They played him again in week 10. I think JSN finna go crazy. And they in Seattle. I need him to go crazy on the squad. He the best receiver in the league right now. JSN, yeah. Who you got? Who you got? Who's your guy?
Drake. I got Drake London, man. Come on.
Hold on. I gotta check. I gotta go to the numbers on that. Because I know Drake London is crazy. I know he cold. But I gotta go to the numbers.
And I'm a little biased. I'm a little biased.
Oh, I feel you. He's great. He's great. I had Drake last year. So I already know. JSN number one. Number one.
And look, Drake, I know what JSN doing. I just got to go with my guys. I done messed around this year, and I got the number 6 and the number 7 fantasy receivers in my lineup.
Hard to do.
So yeah, I got to stick. I got to shout out my guys. But JSN, great pick. Great pick. You can't miss with that.
We pointed London out early in the show. He had 39, 3 tutties, 118, 9 catches. So he went crazy. Yeah. But for biasness and who I'm standing on business with, JSN versus the 25th ranked pass defense. We know them division games can be tricky. You know what I'm saying? They can be tricky, but I think he's gonna cut up.
Sam Darnold playing out his mind too. So between the two of them, it's one thing to have a receiver that's just going crazy, but if the quarterback on a heater, what you gonna do? JSN finna go nuts.
Yeah, Darnold on a heater. Man, everybody was scoring last night, bro. It was crazy. And they were scoring easy too. It was like every time you look up, they was just scoring. Like it was almost like it was practice.
Yeah. It was over by halftime.
Man, it was over quick. So with the Hustlers Energy Lock pick of the week, let me come back to you. Who was yours?
Rico Dowdle.
And then I had JSN for week 10. So if y'all rocking with us, post y'all lock pick of the week on X. Use the hashtags Hustle Sports Fantasy Podcast and tag us at Hustle Sports Net. Let us know who y'all lock pick of the week is for week 10. And we're going to go in, we're going to tap in like that. So with that being said, we're going to keep it moving to the question and answer segment, the last segment for the night. So real quick, these are some good questions. I ain't going to even hold you. I saw them in the mailbox and I liked them. So one of them, should I trade DK Metcalf for Michael Pittman Jr.?
I think you know my answer.
Well,
absolutely.
You biased.
Absolutely not.
Oh, you should.
Absolutely not.
You shouldn't get rid of Metcalf for Pittman, or you shouldn't get rid of Pittman for Metcalf.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me read the question correctly. Should you trade DK Metcalf for Michael Pittman? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who would give up Pittman for DK? And I like DK. I think DK is good. He's having a solid year. But Pittman is the wide receiver 6 on the season. He's averaging 16 fantasy points per game. And in the last 3 games, he's averaging over 20 fantasy points. You can't trade for that. So somebody willing to give you that for DK, because maybe they're a Steelers fan, or they saw some of these big games DK had, I'd take it and run.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. DK wide receiver 25. I probably wouldn't touch that, me personally, either. So, excuse me. With that being said, is Chase Brown still worth holding, or should you try to sell?
I think you got to hold. I've been talking this Bengals offense up, just like the Colts offense. Players and good offenses, you got to stick with them. Yeah. Good players and good offenses give you the most profitable chance that you're gonna have a good week. And Chase Brown's last 3 games, he's had over 100 total yards in his last 3 games. And believe it or not, Chase Brown is running back 14 on the season.
Top 15.
Mm-hmm.
Had an ugly start. Had an
Yeah.
ugly
So
start.
so to me, yeah, if somebody's still sleeping on it, they think it's fluky. Try to get them. Try to go and fleece them. So, especially if you got somebody who you might be iffy on, DeAndre Swift, who might be about to enter a 50-50 situation, and you can kind of get them off for Chase Brown. I like that.
Okay. All right. So Chase Brown worth trying to go get. Y'all heard it here. All right. So with that being said, at this point, it's week 10. We starting to prep for playoffs. Would you roster a second defense or would you keep that bench spot flexible?
I really think it depends on your league. So
Okay.
if in your league guys kind of hoard defenses like they do in our league, kind of trying to put them on your roster in preparation for the playoffs, so people don't have a lot of streaming options. Then I think you got to go ahead and get your defense. We halfway through the season. Pickings are slim. So yeah, I think that might be the way to go. But I'm not against keeping your flexibility, because if people are hoarding defenses, then that means they're missing out on skill positions, and some of these people that we discussed today, like picking up a Luke Musgrave, a Horton, Pierce, those type of guys, because they're hoping to you know, they're playing defense as we talk about
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah.
And I think you can be a little offensive at keeping your flexibility. So I think for our league, I'm definitely picking up my defense, but like in our other league, um, I'm keeping my flexibility because everybody's keeping one defense. So
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I was able to grab my second defense like week 6. Somebody dropped the Patriots defense, and I had Houston defense already, so I was able to. And then they buys was different time. Now the good thing is, I think we got bye weeks up until week 14. So with that being said, people might still be trying to shuffle defense, especially during the bye weeks, trying to make sure they got somebody to play for the week. So you might be able to still hold out and find your second defense, depending on how your league operate. So that'll be a good thing to watch for. Make sure y'all stay tapped in with that. Make sure y'all watching the habits of how people moving on the waiver wires, because these playoffs starting to shape up. So with that being said, would you start handcuffing your running backs? It's week 10, or do you wait a few more weeks until after Thanksgiving to start trying to go get your handcuffs?
I think you got to do it right now. Right now. Soon as waivers hit, if you got the space, go get your handcuff. We starting to see injuries pile up. We just saw Tucker Craft go down for the season. We just saw Scatterbo a couple weeks ago go down. You can't afford at this point in the year to lose your RB1 and not be able to get your handcuff.
Yeah,
Especially if you 500, you in the mix, you fighting for a spot. Go and get your handcuff. Go and secure that. By this point in the year, you kind of know what you got. If you got a stud, you got a stud. Go ahead and secure them. At this point, if you kind of still trying to figure out your back situation, you might be in a little trouble. But if I can, I'm going to get my handcuffs.
yeah, yeah. Now I'm with you. I'm a handcuff guy. I ain't gonna lie. I draft my handcuff. That's how serious it is for me, because I ain't trying to risk
Yeah.
nothing. But I feel you though, week 10, if you was able to make it out this long without having your handcuff, now's the time to probably start trying to think about, should you go get them so you can secure that playoff positioning, just in case, guard yourself against injuries. Uh, Now, with that, we're going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it moving. So, Jonathan Taylor, as we talked about on the pod every week since we've been on here, he been on a crazy burner, on a crazy heater, but he got locked up against Pittsburgh. It's now the time to try to trade him before defenses start keying on him, or you feel like that was just a one-off.
You can't trade JT.
Yeah,
There ain't a player in fantasy that I'm trading JT for.
Not one.
At not one. At best, it's a wash. If you give me JSN, it's a wash. And with how scarce backs are, there's just nothing I'm giving up JT for. So,
Yeah.
unless your team is like reeling and you trying to save your season and maybe you can get multiple players back that can help you, you can maybe get two RB2s or something like that because somebody loaded up on backs. You can mess around and get a Quinshawn Judkins and a Chase Brown or something like that. And you got to use JT to get it because you need another back because you have Scatterbo or something like that. I would do it then, but outside of that, nah, I ain't getting off JT.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. I let that shit sink before I get off JT, me personally. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But yeah, no, so I agree with that. All right, so last question of the night. What defense should somebody look at to stream for week 10?
The Panthers D. The Panthers D has been sneaky good this year. They've had some games where they've struggled, but they've had a lot of games where they play really good. And they got New Orleans, Tyler Shook second game, and I like Shook. I think he got a chance to be good, but he threw a pick last week. Defense has got some tape on him coming into this week, and so I think this could be a week where you see the Panthers. Their defense might get some takeaways. So I like the Panthers this week.
The Panthers, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. For me, I'm gonna stay biased. I'm gonna go Houston versus Jacksonville. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. BTJ hurt.
It's the
ETN.
Prince.
That's your guy. That's your man. That ain't none of mine.
It's
But
quarterback Jesus.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, premature,
Uh,
premature. But I feel it though, right? Like he do show some signs where he had like a throw, and you be like, man, this guy, that throw was crazy. And then you look at him, you like, bro, what the hell he doing?
well, I think the thing with Trevor Lawrence is his talent, quarterback talent, arm talent, all that size, speed, accuracy at times, 99.
Yeah,
IQ, 10. The decisions he make, the reads. It's sometimes you watch it and you're just like, what is he doing?
yeah,
So I think the talent is what keeps hope alive.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But you walk away scratching your head a lot. Like, why
a
ain't
lot.
this dude way better than this? You
Yeah,
know? And I just
and
think
yeah,
that the football IQ ain't that high.
and he always gonna have that sneaky run where you be like, man,
Hmm.
this dude can do everything.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
look up, he ain't really done nothing all day.
Yeah, just don't
Yeah,
play smart.
yeah. So y'all heard Fantasy Ray Ray thoughts on Trevor Lawrence. His defense was Carolina versus New Orleans. Part of Fantasy Ray Ray's thoughts on Trevor Lawrence is why I went Houston versus Jacksonville, another division game, which I think Houston defense should lock that up and should have a good day. Uh, you know what I'm saying? We had a great show. That's a wrap for the week 9 recap, week 10 preparation. We gave y'all the top performers, injury recap, waiver gems, risk it or bench it calls, and our lock picks. Make sure y'all follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the Hustle Sports Network, and on Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter, as the Hustle Sports Net. Make sure y'all rate the show, share with y'all league mates, help us get the word out. And we appreciate all the hustlers out there. Hey, until next week, keep that energy up and keep your line up tight. And just remember one thing: you sleep,
Sleep.
you beat.
You
You
see
sleep,
y'all
you
hustle.
beat.
See you next week.
Yes, sir. See y'all.